Oh no, we're not doing JSM certification exam time. We just got called into an emergency episode.
Yeah, sorry for the bait and switch, folks. It was Bob's idea.
Well, yeah,
I think it was.
You were so itching to do an emergency episode anyway. So
yeah, I want to do an emergency episode. It was Bob's idea to come and do this one. So,
well, I mean, the news we got yesterday wasn't newsworthy enough for us to do an emergency episode.
Although there's precedence that we've done an emergency episode for the news that we got yesterday. But carry on.
Which I think is we actually talked about it in a previous episode of the Jira Life, which was why I didn't think it was emergency episode worthy. I mean, it's come on.
We
it's like
speculated on a previous episode of the Jira Life.
We did, and we were sweating. The C&Ds coming from Atlassian Legal, so which made me even more uncomfortable that if we did an emergency episode on what we were alluding to, it just wouldn't be worth the pain. But this is worth the pain.
You guys got to live on the edge every once in a while. I will tell you that I did ask a certain someone that got in trouble last time if they wanted to come on and talk, and they said that they'd actively like to avoid the topic altogether. I was like, fair enough.
And add me to that list too. So
there's nothing wrong with picking on Atlassian every once in a while. The people love it.
Well,
Atlassian loves it. Maybe not the legal team. Maybe not their legal team, but I'm sure some people at Atlassian get a kick. You know who's going to get a kick out of this? The people we're going to be talking about today. Because they don't care anymore. So Ronnie, what's up? Why are we gathered here today, and why are we disrupting our flow?
Why are we not doing a JSM study session?
Well, this morning when we were just going about our day, we got news first off that Dominique Price, one of Atlassian's work futurists, is announcing he is stepping away from Atlassian.
I know Dom, and yeah, that's like that really is big news for sure. And I've met him several times at several teams in the past, and he always remembers me. Big old smile. How are you doing, Rob? And it's kind of sad to see kind of that passing of the torch. And I do wish Dom well on his future endeavor, whatever that might be. Team is just not going to be the same without him.
I don't know. I never met the guy, so to me, it's going to be the same for me.
Alex, I know that's not right.
That's not right.
I think I was in like the same area as him. I might have said hi, but I've never had a conversation with Dom.
So wasn't he there with Mark and Sven?
They say yeah, but I was talking to Mark. I talked to Mark the time. I like I said, I think I said hi. And that's as far as I got. Sarah's gonna give us the motion cam today.
Yeah, Sarah is live in the field.
It's
talk about Dom.
What did Dom say? Have you been able to get a hold of Dom? What are the people?
Are you in Australia trying to get a hold of Dom? What is he saying?
Yes. I'm the roving reporter here. We're waiting for Dom to exit the baseball field any minute now with a live update.
And rumors start that Dom's now quit his job at Atlassian to become a baseball coach.
Yes, of Aussie baseball.
Yeah.
It's his dream. Little known fact about Dom.
Now,
And then Anu's going to be his manager.
Now, wouldn't it be something if Scott, Anu, Dom, and the rest of the people we're going to be talking about go together and make their own company? It's happened before, right? Intel?
Maybe. Honestly,
Intel,
I thought Atlassian would have given just about any amount of money to keep Dom within the company, because he's a large part of what they do, or he's a large inspiration for what they do about the system of work, about how do we work, how do we use the tools to make lives better, all this. So him stepping away was fairly interesting when it first came out this morning.
But now you have to add in another key departure that happened on Monday, or actually, like I believe earlier this week, a couple days ago, and that's Annie Dean, and she is the architect of Atlassian's work from anywhere policy. You know,
Mhm.
she specifically made the headquarters buildings, you know, Sydney, Austin, Amsterdam, New York,
San Francisco.
you know, SoCal,
We don't have one down
places.
here.
Huh?
SF. We don't have one down here.
Okay, San Francisco, San Jose. Okay,
That's NorCal. That's SoCal.
no Cal,
NoCal. There you go.
no Cal. But you know, she made that. She instituted that policy where it's entirely your option as far as whether or not you want to be at the office, you want to do it at home, you know, whatever works for you and your team. And so we're looking at kind of the two big voices as far as Atlassian being advocates of how you work. You know, one from the perspective of where you work, and the other one in terms of what does modern work look like.
Mm-hmm. So that's very interesting. May signal change in some things that Atlassian have been doing there. And I would just want to say this is paired with even further the news we got a couple of weeks ago about Anu leaving.
They
So now
say
these
it comes in threes, right?
Yeah, it comes in threes.
But it's an interesting domino effect, right? Because it didn't all just come in one day.
No.
But they were clearly like, do you think there's cause and effect between these departures?
I think
Were they
end of
pre-planned?
FY, end of fiscal year, these things happen.
Yeah, but that was a month and a half ago.
Things could still happen that don't get announced right away because maybe it's a little too much for those with us with gentle hearts can handle.
Or us
And
with
by those of us with gentle hearts, what Sarah means is those of us with Atlassian stock.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
To be clear, I don't own any. I don't think any of us do.
Actually, I do. But it's less than my Apple holdings, so you know.
And you
And
don't
we
have
still have to
insider
be-
information.
Yeah, we have
I
to be clear
know.
about our entanglements here.
I don't have any stock yet. I thought about doing it, but maybe now after this dip.
I've had some Atlassian stock in the past, but I divested myself when we started doing the Jira Life.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
A man of honor.
I try.
Bob's like, I could care less. I bought more.
I don't have insider information, so you know.
Right. We're all good here. I don't think we're going to affect anybody's evaluations.
No, we might. MKBHD, he bankrupted Fisker Automotive by doing one review. Like all it takes is for us to say Jira's next UI is like the worst thing in the world, and then the stock goes. That's all.
I believe you've already did that, Alex.
I mean, you've already done that in the.
I said
you know,
all
that has,
of us.
that-
That's why we
had
all
like
have to do it.
negligible effect.
We
So
all have to do it in
Oh.
unison. Me being the only one that's actually stating my opinions that everybody thinks, because I have yet to find one person that actually thinks the UI is great.
I actually am turning around on the UI.
Turning
I
around,
actually,
that means you hated it.
huh?
That means you hated it at one point. You're turning.
Actually, I didn't hate it. I kept an open mind, and I actually find I'm doing a lot of things faster with it just because the pain is easy from the left side with the bar. So
No. There's nothing faster. You're clicking more.
I find I'm doing a lot less clicks.
You're clicking more.
Change
We
in
could
start,
rehash this argument the entire rest of the hour.
but let's not.
So wait. So let's address then. Now that we said Annie's gone, Dom's gone. My elephant in my room is what happened to Mark Cruz?
Well, right off the bat, Mark has 4 letters in his name, and the rest of them only have 3, I think. So we're okay.
That's one way to
No.
look at it.
I know that, right? Because that's your first gut, and I just walked, and now I'm in my car. So yeah, sorry, y'all. This is the real deal, real me here. But we already saw Sven, right? There's already been a little increase in what Sven is doing, so I would expect an increase in Mark.
I will
Yeah.
point out, especially Team 2020, which was the fully remote team they did. Dom was literally the face of that. He was everywhere a part of that. We fast forward to Team 2025 this year. He was noticeably absent from everything Atlassian was showing online. And you three may not have been able to see that, but given my situation this year, I was actually watching online this year and going, oh, that's different.
Yeah, that was announced, right? And I think they'll be doing it at Barcelona also. But it was like where they are like the hosts of the online version.
And I've already been told by Mark that we are going to get pulled into something as the Jira Life. So I'm sorry, Alex.
Plans change, though. I'm just saying. In a moment, things can change.
Just tell them I said
Especially when you're
hi.
blindsided.
I don't think, because Atlassian's still going to need that base, that spokesperson for especially live events. So I don't think anything's going to necessarily happen to Mark. But the point I'm trying to make is we're already seeing them step into a larger role. So I think this may be something that's been going on for a bit now.
But you're looking at this from a career perspective. What does this do to Mark emotionally?
If you're asking me to psychoanalyze, I don't think we have enough time on the
I
show.
think you're asking the wrong person. I think you ought to ask Mark.
I think we should, but like I personally have been very heavily affected when a company has laid off or somebody that I saw as a father figure or as a very close coworker leave or be left. Like that destroyed me for like a week.
Now, I'm gonna again go out on a limb here and say that if that relationship exists that you're describing, then there's probably already been awareness processing that's likely already been done to help, so by now Mark's just like, oh great, now everybody knows I can talk about it. That would be my gut on that. And then relatedly, so I see parallels. I see with Sven taking on more and more related to AI, and I had noticed Anu posting more and more about AI and Rovo, etc. So it's almost like, not to say, Sven would take on a president role, but if we're talking about that presentation and those faces, that I already see those two taking on more of what Dom and Anu were doing.
So here's my, another hot take on this. Do these changes mean that Atlassian basically says, forget our effort that we were doing here with the future of work and everything that they were doing there?
I think you mean system of work.
No, just
No, not necessarily.
Yeah, I mean that, but because look, I was talking to Lena about this, my wife. If you're in the team that's trying to define the future of work, which is kind of what their job roles were, did they see that far into the future and go, wait, the future is agents and virtual teammates? And where do we stand with the human element? Like maybe they don't buy into the cause that Atlassian is now shifting into, where everything's you have a virtual agent teammate instead of an actual physical human teammate.
Well, I think that's going to. I think the surest sign of that would be to see if next year Atlassian releases a state of work report.
So if they don't,
or I would be interesting to see what it says if they do release it, where it pivots and talks about not working with your human coworkers, but working alongside with your AI agents.
If they change their ticker symbol, then we'll know.
team
I guess it's still a team. It's just the A now stands for AI.
They just they add a silent I in team.
Or if it changes it to Rovo, that's
right. And I mean, it's so much, you guys. It's and I get it, right? I get the idea of change and rapid change, and I don't know if it's my age or what, or if it really is just significantly faster, and that the past 2 years, the amount of change, like, you know, from the product to the people there, and then to what the heck does AI mean to me?
But that's not just one company. That's the entire industry as a whole.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But
And I get it.
But I'm more concerned as to like these are like intentional departures. So that means they have to be seen. Who do we talked to? What, Dan Hardinger? I can never pronounce his last name, right? From Adaptivist founder. And he was like, Atlassian already's got like the next 24 months already in the books.
Sure.
So
That's what the company,
for a high profile, a highly paid individuals to just walk away from a sweet job.
That's a totally different level of that. Yes, they do.
And I think we talked about this. I think we talked about this when Anu left. That this has likely been in the works for weeks, if not months, already.
But why though? But why would you leave such a good across all these three high-profile individuals? Why leave such a comfy job in this economy? Why leave such a comfy job?
You don't think that they aren't getting sweet offers
all the time?
Yeah.
You do? Yeah. I mean, you do, but at the same. No, I mean you do, right? But what is it? Sam Altman was saying like the amount of, and I think this has changed now because of actuals that have come out. But Sam Altman a few weeks ago was when Zuckerberg was on his his hunting spree, poaching AI engineers. I'm pretty sure it was Sam Altman. He was like, well, our engineers aren't changing shifts because they actually love where they're working at, and versus getting engineers from X and getting engineers from Anthropic and all the other AIs, like, well, maybe
and then he drops a turd like Chat GPT-5, so it just
but the point was still like he made a statement that like when you love where you work, no amount of money is going to convince you to leave because the grass is not always greener on the other side.
So it's not a money decision. That's my point. This is
right,
not money decisions.
So I get that. So why leave then? Like it has to be something profound to want to leave.
I think I agree. Also, these are plans that we're learning. We're seeing the outcome of them that have probably been in the mix for like 24 months. Because that's when you're an enterprise level company like that, you have your succession planning. You have all your
succession planning for like Anu though, but Dom and Annie, not necessarily.
Yes. You can have plans that go top to bottom.
Right. Devil's advocate. What if they're shown the way out then? What if they were shown their way out?
Anything is possible.
Again, we're not Atlassian insiders. We don't know what's going on.
I don't have insider information. I do hold Atlassian stock. There's no way I know the answer to whatever.
But what do you speculate? What do you think?
Because
I've seen VPs just disappear overnight.
That can happen too.
Yeah.
We don't know, but go ahead, Rodney.
This doesn't feel like that kind of exit, though, to me.
But
when I've seen high level,
the people that are exiting, the people that are exiting are the people that define the culture of Atlassian.
But when I see high level people given the option of resigning, it is still a very immediate, very rapid thing. It is not this kind of drawn out thing we're seeing. I think this was very much the intention of the people who would be impacted.
Wait, when's Andy's last day? Anu's well planned.
Anu's the end of the year.
Yeah, but Annie and Dom are instant, or more instant.
Dom was September 2nd.
Once again, though, I would say who's going to affect your stockholder reports and who's not.
Right. So Anu does, and the others don't. I didn't know who
Well,
Ani was until
I mean,
24 hours ago.
Yeah, Anu is definitely part of the stock report.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to change the amount of time before you learn it till it's a reality.
I just think it's something's fishy when people that are fighting for your culture are dropping from your company.
And I think that, frankly, is also, I think, speaking for myself, but I'm kind of feeling it from you, Alex, we're also looking at it through a very specific lens where certain cultural aspects might already be, feeling not the same.
Yeah. And we know
Right.
Atlassian's culture has been changing for a good while now.
So it's looking for those things. I know there's a whole word for it and whatever, but looking for those things that reinforce your argument, right? You're like,
But
I have this hypothesis. I'm going to go find everything out there to substantiate it.
So part of the thing that I've been kind of reading opinions about people talking about, Dom's departure, Annie's departure, what it means, and the culture is changing. One thing that you have to remember is corporate culture, company culture is not something that came down on 2 tablets from Mount Ararat, right? This corporate culture, company culture is a thing that can and will constantly evolve. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But I mean, we're sitting here on the sidelines just kind of talking about this, and Alex is always going with the palace intrigue, right? He's good for that, and but we're not the ones that decide to change the culture.
No, but their job was. But what was their jobs? Here's what I was suspecting. I think Dom and Annie's job is to influence not only internal culture but external culture of the Atlassian customers. Because I asked Mark the very first time we interviewed Mark or had Mark on the Jira Life, I asked him, how in the world do you measure how do your performance reviews go? Because how do you measure if you did a good job or a bad job as a culturist? Because that's what your job is, right? And I think I would suspect that given the economies that we're in today, given the directions of so many leaders across so many different industries, I don't think Atlassian wants to be with their team anywhere, do anything, system of work type of thing anymore.
I agree. I think we may see the start of a focus back into tools and AI enablement, less on how to do overall work.
Well,
yeah.
The AI tool, not even tools and AI.
Yeah.
The AI tool.
Yeah. And I think, so I just think out of all the jobs that I've seen that have become redundant, I think these are 2 that probably became redundant.
And I'm not saying that Atlassian would not. I think that definitely played into the decision because they said the Atlassian of 3 years ago would have given any amount of money to change Dom's mind to keep him there. So something has definitely already changed at Atlassian as far as what their priorities and focus is. My point is, from the individual's perspective, from Dom, from Annie, and even from Anu, my bet is they're not being shown the door. They're choosing to leave to go somewhere else. They already have a plan where they're going to be.
Supposedly. We'll find out. Only time will tell.
Right. And if we're saying people, and if culture changes, people change too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure, you can be like, wait a minute. Come to your little personal aha moments about where you are and what you're doing and what your future is, and then ironically, the futurist, maybe the futurist is like, hey, guess what? I'm going to go change my future now, right? I was going down this path, or maybe I completed that path and ready for the next one. I haven't crafted my response to it yet, though. I'm still processing.
It would not shock me, especially for Dom in particular, because that's kind of the first trickle I got. I was not aware of Annie's announcement a few days ago until Bob brought it up to me. But when Dom first announced it, I'm like, I would not be surprised if he either becomes like an independent speaker or an independent content creator. Because he is one of those people, if you've ever met him in person, he has about 300% worth of character and charisma.
Right?
So,
Well, now it just falls to, okay, when Dom goes, who's going to handle the podcast that he hosted? So, or Alex, are you sharpening up your resume?
Well, I'll do Experts Unleashed.
I am an independent contractor, and I plan to stay that way.
You wouldn't want to have Atlassian as your tagline.
No, because when you work for somebody, maybe this plays into Dom's thing, right? When you work for somebody, you have to kind of follow some rules.
this is one reason why, and I've said this before, Atlassian probably would never hire me and probably never hire Alex because we are independent voices and we don't hold back our opinions sometimes, even when we probably should.
And I wonder if Atlassian and Mike are sitting there like, who the hell thought that some group of 4 people would be talking about our people quitting? Like, nobody talks about when somebody else quits their job. Here we are spending an hour talking about 3 very high-profile
People
departures.
probably do.
It's only been 26 minutes. Give yourself
Only 26 minutes. Well, we got a lot more to go.
Let's say it's only been 26 minutes on air.
Yeah.
We've had plenty of chats.
I personally have seen a very senior director at one of the companies that I worked at. Very, very senior. Many would have called him like a prodigal son type of thing, like very, very, very important individual. Just walk away from it all because of the internal company politics. And when I read these posts, not Anu's aside, but when I read Dom's and Annie's, that was the immediate vibe that I got, was something was boiling for some time and they decided to just part ways. I don't think people walk away from warm, cushy jobs. Because if you do, right? If you had that next job, you immediately put, I got my next job.
Okay. I gotta press on this one because again, it could be, and hopefully my microphone's okay.
Sounds like you're underwater, but it's coming through.
I'm sorry, it's probably my air conditioning, and I'm on my phone. All kinds of things going bad with this.
I'm just trying to make it easy train of thought.
So, how can they get more experience, though? Sorry. No, but how do they get more experience, right? Because at some point, in order to grow, you have to change and go other places to gain more experience. No matter how good you have it, if you're driven by personal growth, at some point you'll stagnate.
Yeah, but what you just said, I 100% agree. But in 2 weeks' time, we better see a post from Dom and Annie saying, I know, work here. If that post doesn't happen in 2 weeks' time, then they left for political reasons. Now you're
Alex?
on me.
What?
That's not your smartest statement, friend.
Why? No, it's not my smartest, but it's my personal observation of what I've seen others happen to others.
Okay.
Sarah, we're getting a little bit of echo off you. But
while Sarah figures
I
out
don't
her
know.
walk,
You're thinking it's only one reason, and for these 3 people that we've mentioned, it could be 3 totally different reasons.
I think I'm putting Anu in a very different category, but Annie and Dom's, I think their roles are too tightly related to a part of the company that maybe they don't want to go in that direction anymore. And 2, again, in 2 to 3 weeks, whenever, like, if you get a new job, look at Justine when she left. We'd have to go back and look at hers, right? But she left to go to a higher position at another competitor. But did she post it right away? Now I'm kind of curious. I want to go look at her profile.
She didn't post it right away.
But did she at least post it within like 2 weeks? Because if this to me is going to be very suspicious.
It was more a matter of like 1 or 2 months.
Now I'm gonna check. I'm gonna go back. While you guys debate, I'm gonna go stalk Justine's profile.
I think we have to take this in the larger context, though, because there's something that I know we've been very careful to kind of tiptoe around on the Jira Life that happened a few weeks ago at Atlassian. And I'm going to leave it to Bob whether we do bring it up or not. But this, taken in concert with that, there may actually be some intrigue in the palace. I'm just saying I don't think that's the only reason here. I think there are multiple factors at play.
There's always multiple factors at play, but I'm also the one that is the most, I don't know, jaded.
So leave it to online Andy to kind of stir the pot a little bit and say, who do we think is the next domino to fall?
Okay. I'm going to share my screen because I am right and I have data to back it up now. Too bad Sarah's not watching. Here we go. So here is Justine's post from 1 year ago. After over 9 years, I made the incredible difficult decision to leave Atlassian and will be joining Postman. Same post. Where's this from Annie? Where's this from Dom? Out, in, right away. She went up for a promotion. I don't see that from the other two.
Okay.
She was able to. All that means is she was able to talk about that promotion right away.
So that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, but in 2 weeks' time, if we still don't see anything, then
if we don't see anything, there's more than one reason to explain that. It's still not conclusive proof of what you're saying, because it could just be stealth mode.
Right, but I've seen patterns in other executives that I have seen, high-profile individuals in other companies that I have personally witnessed be shown out the door because of a shift in strategy or a shift in politics, and they don't have a here's where I'm going next post. It's fishy. I'll tell you that. I'll leave it at that. It's fishy. Where I'm going.
I thought I was the one with the tinfoil hat. Alex is
like if I left it, like if I put a post like, okay, so after 3 years of co-creating the Jira Life, I'm gone, and not go somewhere else or start my own thing, like then something happened.
Technically, you've already started other things.
Monday.com.
Yes. Yeah. Speaking of the thing that you're starting up, when is the Atlassian Builder Summit, Alex?
October 22nd through the 24th.
And tell me, what day does the podcast come out with Sean Doyle about DevOps?
What do you mean?
What day do your episodes come out?
I think Fridays, but those are recorded. We record like on Wednesday. We're actually going to record one live this Friday. It's going to be our very first one in person.
I'm just saying, they could have other things on the site already, like a certain content creator.
Hear about it, but you would hear about these things. You know about these things, unless you're working on something in stealth. But I like Andy's comment really well. Something bigger might be looming.
I think Andy's was a little double entendre because it's kind of referencing what I was referencing.
I think it's referencing a certain thing that happened too. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we now turn to our reporter in the field.
Is she back?
Yeah, are you back? Less echoey?
Echo.
She's still on mute.
I don't know, guys. I'm very jaded, but I see things. Over my career, I have mainly only worked in giant, large enterprises and organizations, and this is just what I've seen over the last 15 years of my career.
I'm not saying it's impossible, Alex.
Yeah,
I'm not. I'm just saying there may be more to the story than just that.
I don't know. I don't know. I'd be willing to bet my salary since we don't get paid anything, but
oh, that's the exact time you bet your salary is when there's nothing on the line.
I'll put all my chips. I'm all in. My statements. Andy doesn't think I can be jaded. Or can it?
No, I think you being jaded is an understatement.
Okay, so we beat this conversation up to death. Can we now talk about my emergency news that I thought was emergency news, but you guys didn't seem to think it was emergency news?
No, I think that's it. We're out. On
We're
time.
out. Why do you guys not want to talk about it?
Because Atlassian increasing their prices, which is what you want to talk about, is not news. It is just the state of business when you're dealing with Atlassian.
But it's a lot of money. The people got to know. My wife doesn't know. She didn't get the email.
Well, Alex, you have the floor.
Well, now I got to find it because I lost the email. Oh, Atlassian. All right. We got important. Dear customer, we're updating our pricing to reflect our something.
Something dark side.
Here we go. Add to stage. Atlassian's updating their product pricing effective October 15th. So conveniently enough, what, a week? 3 days? 4 days after Barcelona?
Which again, we stated mid-October every year. This is the same MO. This is not.
This is not news. What is news though is the percentages. So 7.5% on Cloud Premium, which is what I would assume everybody's on. This always gets me, like, who gets the 10% and who gets the 7.5%? Like, who's getting the short stick here? How does Atlassian determine who got the short stick?
I imagine there's some split in there with number of customers.
All right, 10%. So we're looking at, if you're on Jira and Confluence, 10, that's 20% minimum, plus another 5% for your guard. So most enterprise customers, you're looking at least a 25% increase for just Jira.
Not how those percentages work.
No, I don't think that's how you math.
That's not how.
What are you talking about? 10%
Again,
more
Alex.
for Jira, 10% more for Confluence, and 5% more for things. You're adding your percentages.
No, because
Enlighten me
it's 10% on $10 for Jira, 10% on $5, and I'm pulling numbers out of thin air. These are not actual numbers, but let's just say if it's 10% on $10 for Jira, 10% on $5 for Confluence, and 10% for $2 on Guard, or 5%, that does not equal a across the board 25% increase.
No, you don't think so?
I know that's not how the math works.
That's why I also failed math. But anyways, if
Again,
you're a company,
who has a master's in engineering?
We need the short of Alex finally admitting he failed math. So
I walked into my math class and I found 6 people that were dumber than me. So those were the 3Fs and the 3Ds, and I shot for that number 7 spot to get the very last C. That's all I cared about. That's how I cried my way through calculus. But in all seriousness, though,
not in my university.
Yeah, if you're an enterprise or if you're any customer of Atlassian, then wait for Rodney's mathematics to figure out how much more you should budget in for your renewal next year.
I think a healthy
it's not 25%.
It's not 25%, but
I would still buffer. If I were you, I'd be buffering for a 25% increase in your budget.
I mean, usually year to year, I expect somewhere around 15% for your total bill. And I haven't done the math on these numbers yet, but I'd be shocked if it did not land somewhere around that 15% number.
So what is your pricing cost right now? At 10 users, $17. So help me out, Rodney. What's 10%? $1.70? Or
$1.70.
Well, we're not going 10%. We're going 7.5%, right? 17 times 0.07. So we'll be $18. Oh boy, I should not do $18.275. We're going up about
around to $18.28.
Yeah, about $1 and some change for Jira, and $1 for some, and about $1 and some change for Confluence, times all the number of users that you have.
And that's where it really starts to hurt, is when you start multiplying these numbers times the number of users you have.
Yep. I like how they've received over 150 new feature enhancements, including a UI that we don't like.
Well, again,
you're lying to yourself, Bob.
That argument aside, sounds like we need to have another debate show somewhere with the remaining part of our year. This is the argument I made, especially on data center, where when they do these upgrades, what are you getting for it? Now Atlassian has to explain what they get for it because some content creator kept accusing them of not really justifying their upgrade or their higher cost.
Look at that. They even gave you a full list of all their released items. The only thing I don't like is like with the world of SaaS, like you don't like. I don't care for half this stuff. Why do I have to pay for it?
I think you're missing the biggest justification, and that is that
Somebody's got to pay for Robo.
basically, Rovo and the Atlassian intelligence features are now bundled in, at least definitely for
Foreseeable
premium
future.
enterprise, and will be for standard sometime soon. So,
What's interesting though, there's no mention of Robo in here.
well, it's because it's not a separate product anymore. It's bundled in.
I know, but you would think that as part of like, there's no mention of like, hey, because we gave you this amazing AI, like they intentionally left it out. It's not a
we gave this thing that is eating into that is non-linearly eating into our server profiles.
Yeah, but no, like look, like Confluence has native AI suggestions. There is no AI in Jira.
AI ops for JSM.
Yeah, which I got 24 hours to figure out what this is. 48 hours to figure out what this is. And then AI here, but nothing, no Robo specific, and no mentions of any of the great enhancements of agents or anything like that. It's fishy, fishy, fishy. So do we give up on Sarah?
Well, Sarah's just putting her stuff in there right now.
Oh, there she is. There's an AI and Andrea, just a different order.
Let's not forget that Atlassian is a downstream consumer of some of these LLMs. They're building their tools on top of other existing tools from other providers.
Yeah.
So in running AI or an LLM of any scale that's halfway functional is not a cheap endeavor. I mean, just the power cost alone is utterly ridiculous. That's not including the acquisition cost of all the GPUs you need and the special kind of network you need to transfer the data efficiently. And a lot goes into building these things. And as these things grow, they're going to pass their cost up to their customers. Yep. So which means their customers, our vendor, has to pass those costs on to us.
Yeah. But in general, folks, this is our annual renew or our annual reminder to go. If you have inactive users that haven't been using Jira for the last, I don't know, 6 months, you're gonna pay a little bit more for them. So go clean them up.
I still hate that this is just not an automatic included feature in Jira, where if someone does not log in a set time period, their license just automatically goes away.
They will conveniently add your license the moment you touch any Jira.
Touch anything, yes, but
removing it, that's really
unless you're on the free plan.
I was going to say you're
more
on the free
than happy
plan,
to kick you off.
They once you hit that inactivity timeout, not a second later,
that site is gone. They don't even hesitate. I wonder why that is. I wonder how many resources it costs Atlassian to spool up a site. Can't imagine it's that many, but
especially considering you don't have the Rovo features and whatnot.
The other thing, I was talking to a client today, and I pointed out that he had like 50 unused or 50 users that didn't need a JSM license because they accidentally gave everybody a license. And I'm like, well, there goes my fee. I'm completely free now. So he quickly went and removed all those users. So reach out to me or Rodney or not Bob if you need help.
I mean, you can reach out to Bob through C Prime.
Prime. Yep. What else? Anything else that we want to talk about, or should we be calling this one?
Well, we should probably just call it.
Yeah.
Those were all
Interesting week here with Atlassian.
But the week's
and
not
this is
over
on
because tomorrow we have a Jira Life episode that's going to be one for the ages.
I
In
truly
this
believe
corner,
this.
we have Dr. Jira himself, and then in the other corner, wearing the blue trunks, we have the. Is it the Atlassian doctor?
He's the Atlassian doctor.
He is, or they. Sorry, they are going up against. So it's doctor against doctor.
Mm-hmm.
We've had one of those before.
We'll see whose Atlassian medical school training is better as they argue about whether or not.
I thought Brian had a
Jira
PhD in Atlassian studies versus Alex's MD.
I'm a C's get degrees guy, okay? So expect nothing more than mediocre.
So Alex, quick preview for the audience who may be sitting here tonight. What is your opening argument for the debate tomorrow? What side are you sitting on?
I think so. So Brian posted a post. Actually, let me give it to you here, since we're on the topic. Where is it? Kristen from Atlassian. I don't have the last name. How do I? Roth? Kristen Roth? I've only ever looked at them by their first name. Apparently Brian dropped an article not too long ago. Drop it here in the chat here. And it clearly states where Brian's side of the house is going to be at. So you can bet your butt I'm going to be analyzing the heck out of this post because my competitor decided to expose their side of the argument so I can have time to prepare. So I'm going to just throw that through Jippity and go, help me win this one.
But that's not what I asked for.
Well, I'm telling you, I got to research. My opening argument is going to be whatever I can beat everything he just.
Wait. Did he say research?
Yeah, it's research.
Mr. I'll just wing it and come in at the last minute.
With Jippity.
Which means he's going to spend the 5 minutes before he signs on to the show tomorrow.
So
frantically typing.
To give you a little bluff, right? Bottom line up front. I'm a big fan of frameworks and rules. To a certain degree, but I feel like we need guardrails. Like if you just have not like anything goes wild wild west type of thing, chaos ensues shortly thereafter. And so I'm going to be on the team or on the side of we need to have some rules, guidance to then be creative within the walls. But having no walls just leads to nothing, to just pure anarchy. So that'll be my opening.
I agree with you, but I don't think. I think the people doing the work, they should be the arbiter of what the rules are, as long as they know why the rules are there in the first place.
Thank you, Bob.
But yes, but there should be some rules versus no rules. Right? I am for creative and being able to be, do whatever you need to do within the safety of the rules. But,
so on the LinkedIn event, someone, David B, posted, Jira doesn't kill Agile, people kill Agile. And I could not just let that go because that was eating at me. And I know Bob has made this point before. I'm like, no, people don't kill Agile. Strict adherence to a process without understanding the why behind it, therefore never understanding when you need to evolve, kills Agile.
Which is almost I would characterize, yes, people kill Agile because of either strict adherence or deciding to go Wild West without understanding the why of the guardrails.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And this is kind of where I might sound like a hypocrite, but I don't care too much about Agile per se. I'm a get the thing done kind of guy, but you still need rules and governance to get the thing done.
I've always been there is a place for waterfall. It depends on the kind of work that you are doing, and if the work that you're doing is predictive, and has been done a million times. There's no need to iterate on the millionth in one time, right? And experiment.
Yeah,
EA Sports
it's in the
does
game.
not need to do agile to figure out what they're going to do for FIFA 2026.
But that's the schedule. You do need Agile to iterate and experiment with new features and new things that you want to do.
I
Because
don't think
you might-
EA
you
has
might
put
have-
any significant new features in FIFA in
No,
about
but-
5 to 10 years.
Okay, let's take a look at Activision, who's like on my list of worst companies ever.
I
You know,
I don't
we're
think I could join
kind
that
of
argument.
warming Alex up here. I don't know if we should do that because I want Brian to win.
I want an interesting showdown here.
Oh, that's true.
So-
Okay, I suppose interesting show.
But I do need to note that up until about 2
Year and a
years
half
ago,
ago,
I
you
was working for Activision Blizzard. So
Activision kills everything that's great in the world. Okay.
probably,
With that said-
but
with
I
that
have
said-
to really hold my tongue about some things.
My
I'm
beloved
holding my
Tony
tongue
Hawk,
too.
yeah. My beloved Tony Hawk series, right? Yearly annual releases, and you start introducing new features. But I'm sure you are all probably, I'm sure you're all probably aware that at some point or early to the 2010s, like around 2011 ish, 2010, Activision released Tony Hawk Ride.
Just wait for the third A-letter company to come out
I
of
know,
Alex's mouth, then I'll win bingo.
and so you get this skateboard that is a physical skateboard because Activision was riding on the coattails of Guitar Hero and all the rhythm games, right? But that was like the worst idea you could have had. And had they done an agile-based development on that Tony Hawk ride, right, and gotten some feedback early on, they would have realized that was the worst idea in the world. But instead, they waited for the whole year to get it out to the hands of customer, only to realize they had a flop, and then only to do the criminal act of releasing it a second year. So I don't know. I would argue waterfall is okay, but I would prefer an organized agile that allows you to get feedback and pivot. The only true problem I have is you have to maintain your teams motivated, because when you pivot rapidly, it's hard for your team to stay motivated and like following the North Star when they seem deflated after everything because then they didn't pan out or whatever. So that's the only silver bullet I haven't figured out.
So
Well-
part of the thing is if they're seeing failure upon failure, how are they pivoting?
I don't know. Some people just have bad
They're
juju.
not pivoting. It sounds like.
Probably not.
Well, tune in tomorrow is going to be a great show.
Assuming it happens, I should also warn you that Brian's got this biggest day heck's on my front door. Brian's biggest day of Brian's life is tomorrow or Friday. And so I am also hoping that Brian gets very busy and goes, nope, we can't do it. We will see.
I think we'll find a stand-in if that's the case.
Bob looks like he's
I
itching to
might
get
have to stand in. I don't know, but that might just throw off his entire Chat GPT argument. So
So that's still a better show. I'm not seeing the downside here. Again, I am not going to get involved in this particular topic because I'm just going to MC and let them argue it out and try and make a more interesting show.
Yeah.
I'm going to produce. I'll stay in the background.
Those sales guy is very persistent. They really want me to buy something. They keep coming to my house. And my wife, I keep telling my wife to tell people that we rent. And that makes them go away. But for some reason, she forgets to tell people we rent.
Anyways, everyone, thank you for joining us tonight. I'm sorry for the hard pivot, but said the news today and the news yesterday was pretty big. So we felt, especially considering we want to do the show we have tomorrow, we need
And
to
we're
at
big
least
fans of
stress
Dom,
it while we
so.
could. Yep.
I
At least
never met
2/3
Dom. You think
of
I'll get
us
a
are.
chance to say hi again? Like actually meet him?
I think that ship has sailed, Alex. You might have had a shot in Barcelona, but now we've found out no.
No. Well, Dom, if you're ever watching this, it was nice seeing you from afar.
You know what? You know what might you know what might work is instead of intently staring at Mark Ruth, just kind of look at the room a little bit. Notice Sven, notice the big bald guy next to Sven.
Dude,
I
Sven,
still don't know
did
how you
guys-
missed him because he
did you
is a
guys hear what I
giant of a
told-
man.
But I know I've seen him, but I just never met him, so I didn't have anything to say to him. But did you hear what I told Sven that he got mad at?
Have not, and I'm kind of afraid now.
So I went and told Sven, I'm like, so you're Mark's other half. he got so offended by it.
I would.
Yeah.
I
did not
mean,
That's
have
like
that on
going
my
up to
Alex
Trello
bingo
and
card,
asking why they
so-
exist.
that is a valid question, Ronnie.
Yeah.
And I didn't do it to Trello. I did it to the Jira Work Management, which, for the record, does not exist anymore. So I was right.
You,
Dun, dun,
you
dun.
even managed to get Sarah to facepalm by text.
Wow.
It's all
Don't
three of
facepalm
us.
while you're driving. Don't facepalm. So I had a one-on-one with Sven for my summer of Atlassian, and that was like one of his opening statements. He's like, "What in the world are you saying?" He said he's the other better half of Mark Cruz. I love Mark Cruz so much. He's my favorite Atlassian.
Oh God.
Mark Ruth, you may want to avoid us in Barcelona. I'm sorry.
I believe that could be that if we make that into a short, that turns out as evidence in the restraining order that Mark will probably file.
No,
If I don't
joke.
get to talk to Atlassians because of this, Alex,
No, you joke around, but did you see the game of scavenger hunt that Mark and I were playing at Disneyland after team?
no.
So
'cause I
Mark
wasn't
was like,
there.
well, so Mark went to Disneyland after team, right? And we're like, let's hang out. And he's like, if you can find me, you can hang out with me. So he kept dropping clues all throughout the day of where he was, like which ride he was on, and like just random corners to help me find him. And I eventually found him. But it was a good trivia game. To my defense, I had a little help. Sean was with me the whole time, and he was helping me try to find these areas of Disneyland to figure out where Mark was at. But we found him.
Well, everyone, definitely hope we see you tomorrow. It is going to be a fantastic show. And yeah, we'll catch you guys later. Thank you for watching.
Yep. Bye,
And
everybody.
Alex, want to say the tagline?
No, that's your job.
Oh, you mean I have to say we didn't choose a Jira Life? Jira Life chose us?
Chose us.
You didn't see
Bye,
me
everybody.
suffering through team? I can never do it.
Bye.